Alright, what is up everyone, it's your Code King Zaf here, back with a much needed Battlefield time guide. I'm sure a lot of you are waiting for this one because things are honestly much harder than before. We have brand new debuffs that do affect our run. No longer can we use Plum, no longer can we use Hunters like Isla. If you weren't aware, do not use the same element when it comes to your weapons and hunters that the, boss in question is resistant to. If you do that, you do get a 5 stacking debuff which does not go away. It nerfs your damage by a ton. When I tested out, for example, on my West Wind, I lost a 45% damage amount when I had Plum equipped as well, so please make sure you do not use any Dark Hunters and do not use any Dark Weapons or Fire 2. You cannot use them, you will get a debuff, but let's cover the weapons and hunters you can use to get a fantastic time like the one you see here. I'll give you the ins and outs when it comes to our weapons, our hunters, our blessing stones, our runes, every single thing you know to get a fantastic time like the one you see here. And really quick, I do want to mention, if you want a bunch of free codes for Essence Stones and more, to go to link down below and support us after linking your Soul Loving Rise account. That way, I can send you a bunch of benefits. This program Netmarble put in place for the game is amazing. You go to the My page up top here, you start scrolling down, and then you should see my name pop up after you support us, and then all the way down here, all the brand new codes we send to you. These are unique codes, you cannot use them unless you support us and get your own version, so make sure, if you want every single code you see here, to support us for free. Again, the link is down below, that way you do not miss out. And very quick, a shout out to Vova for being the first comment to our last video. Here is your shout out and enjoy that juicy exclusive Discord role. But make sure, if you haven't yet, in our Discord server we have hundreds of dollars of giveaways for our supporters, so make sure you join, that way you don't miss out. We have 2 right now with 1 more coming out that we can enter for hundreds of dollars in giveaways. Oh baby, I am going broke. Now as we jump into our build, please ensure you do not equip any fire weapons or dark weapons, including Fire and Dark Hunters. You cannot use them, otherwise you will be debuffed heavily. Watch this, I'm gonna equip the Plum, the best weapon to use for this game mode, but no longer can we use it based on these resistances here, so Fire and Dark are no-goes for this. Watch above our HP bar to the very right, we have a brand new status effect. It should be a 5 stacking debuff. As you see there, right next to our life icon, the Blessing Stone, we do have a debuff which is not ideal, so please make sure you do not run any dark or fire weapons. It is a brand new debuff for the Battlefield time, if you weren't aware of course, and I tested it out. It's essentially like a 40% damage nerf, which is not ideal. So in this case, we have 2 or 3 options, I would say. We can run the Grimoire, we can run the Demon King's Longsword as well, and we can run this weapon right here, Baruka Zagger. This works too. This one is honestly a bit harder than the rest. I would say the easiest is the DKL and the Grimoire. They have very similar, uses for this run. I use the DKL because it's such an easy weapon to use. For all the phases, it basically makes it so easy. So that is the weapon I chose, but I should have a clip in here including another run, or just a portion of it, using the Grimoire as well, just for your reference of course. And when it comes to hunters, you might be surprised that we're using Kim. He is the best breaker in the game when it comes to sports skill in the win category. He has a heavy break sports skill. Watch over here, if we go to sports skill, he has heavy break, so that is wonderful. We use him in these game modes. If you don't have him to, let's say, A5 for example, you can use someone like Nam. She's just as fine, but for this build, we do use him for the heavy break. It is a must. The best breaker when it comes to both these categories, wind and water, it is a must, and the weapon we use on him gives him more break. If you weren't aware, if you didn't watch our previous videos, when you have elemental weakness damage and you increase it, you do get more break as a result, so make sure in this weapon, his weapon is not needed. This weapon here, the global SR weapon, is so much better. And when it comes to Minime Lin, obviously, we just use our weapons as usual, and our shadows. We do have Biru, but I believe for my run, I actually ran Igris for even more crit. You do have the option, you can use either or. The reason why I don't use Biru for one of our Spore Hunters is because we have Min already, and their punishment debuff does not sack, so do keep very careful note of that. We use Kaisel because they're honestly one of the strongest shadows in the game, and obviously Serbi, giving us a 5% damage increase to the target that is basically infinite, actually is infinite, 5%, so that's very nice. We do of course want that on the target, and if we go down here, when it comes to artifact sets, Warmongers is honestly one of the best, giving us a major attack increase, and the Obsidian set, you do have to watch your mana, but once you watch it, always staying above the 40% mark, you do get a 60% damage increase. Oh baby, there is no better set in this game mode than the Obsidian set, so make sure you run it. And for support hunters, honestly, nothing really changes here. We have the Blasting set on Min, we have the Guardian and Self Blessing on Malin. The Guardian set is a must, and you have to use this Blessing Stone right here. Let me show you very quickly, this one right here. Aggressive Defense is a must. You keep getting a shield applied, and with life, you spawn in with a shield, giving you an instant 10% damage increase, which we need. But going back to our artifact sets here, we have the Soul Analysis set for even more break. Do not run the Greed set, it does not work the way you think so. Run the Soul Analysis set, run the Self Blessing as well, giving us constant stacks when it comes to the Elemental Weakness damage bonus. It is so good. And with that said, we have the artifact sets covered. We covered the Blasting Stones very quickly. Let me just go back into these. We have Life and Aggressive Defense. These are must, but you do want to run Reawakening. You want to run Pulverize as well, because we have to break the boss, and also the break damage we get with this is a must. I do use Weakness Section. That's kind of my pick, just because we get more damage coming in overall, which does help out. And Sharp Perception too, giving us a lot of crit. But honestly speaking, when it came to this run, I used pretty much multiple Blessing Stones and Runes, so you have alternatives here. You can run into it, it is very good. Just make sure you have 200 Intelligence to maximize on the set here. And of course, we use Double-Edged Sword as well. This works just fine. Bloodlust as well works perfectly. And if you don't have any of those, you can run the Boss Slayer. It works out very fine too. So we do have a lot of options there. But going back to our runes, we did use a few for this run. My favorite would have to be the water version of Vertical Arts for one reason. Because of this right here, you'll say, well, Zaf, isn't it weaker than the Wind one, which does make the run much easier? No. If you look right here, increases damage though at the legendary mark to targets in the break state by 250%. It just nukes a target, so do take note of this. Even at the heroic mark, it is very strong. It is actually probably one of our strongest runes in general, but make sure you run it. It is a fantastic water rune, though this one here works as well, especially for the first phase, so do take note of that. I'll show you. It is very OP. And as we go down here, when it comes to skill, we have to run it. The Vacuum Wave skill, not only giving us a 15% damaging increase to the target, we also get a bonus damage increase to Vertical Arts, which is honestly a must, so run this one. You could say, well, Zaf, is an Iceberg better? Well, it does deal more damage, but honestly, it's not as good. The utility we get out of this one is honestly way better, so you can run either or. If for some reason you have Vacuum Wave to, let's say, Legendary, but your Iceberg is at mark, you can try using this instead. Give it a try. They're both good, but Vacuum Wave at the same ranking is much better, trust me. Now, with that said, I should have covered everything so far. I don't think I missed a single thing, so I'm going to jump in and cover the build and show you some alternatives as well. That way, you can kind of compare the runs and see what you want to run instead. So let me jump in and show you every single thing you know when it comes to the actual battle experience. And very quick, I almost forgot our QTs, very important. They do make or break the run. You have two avenues to take. You can either get more break coming in with bonus damage being applied if you time it correctly, or you can get even more damage coming in once you break the target. You get a 160% increase to your damage when the target is in the break state, very important, and this skill scaling is much stronger, and it doesn't really slow down the run. I'll show you how to use it efficiently, but we have one more QT to cover here. You do have two options as well. Honestly, you probably have three to use here. You can use Overshadow, but not the best one to use. Ice Strike is fine for the damage. You do get bonus damage coming in, but the best one will be Squall. This one gives you medium break, but also giving you a break effectiveness increase of 12%, which does come in clutch. So I want you to consider all those options. I use this one here when it comes to Squall, and I use this one here when it comes to Thunderstorm. But you could say if I use Surprise Attack, my run could have actually been faster based on the 20% increase in damage, but we'll never know, honestly speaking. I tried both, and this one ran a bit better, giving us more damage in a run, but let me jump in and show you the run itself, that we know exactly what to do. Alright, so here's the run at half speed, very important. As you spawn in, you do have one option when it comes to your hunter usage. You can use Malin or Min. I would prefer using Malin, just because she does have the Sylph's Blessing set, giving us a much larger bonus when it comes to, I guess, our elemental increase in damage. You would get one more buff coming in here that does stack 3 times, giving us a 15% bonus, so do take very careful note of that. But I'm using Min here just because I do want the Burning Blessing damage coming in. That is the set we have on him, so it is up to you to choose. I would recommend for most of you to swap their sets, so Malin does have Min set, and Min does have Malin set, and when you use Malin, make sure you face the other way. If you don't, she'll target this mob here, which will ruin the run, so do take note of that. But let me jump in here. You're going to dash, 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 and get ready to use the skill here, your vertical arts skill. Watch very carefully. We loop around here, and we have to hit all these mobs all at once. Watch very carefully. We're going to use it. All these mobs will be squashed and boom, squashed. And watch this. We use our vacuum wave skill. Yes, even though it is a break skill, it can clear these 1, 2, 3 mobs. We're going to use it. Watch very carefully and pop. They're going to pop right there. Very easy. And now we have this mob here. This is honestly a very high HP monster. We are going to use our longsword to get the initial damage in. If you're having struggles, you can wait for the boss to attack and then use the built-in counterattack. It does help you out just a bit, so make sure you consider it. But as we jump in, we use it, and we get ready to use our daggers next. Watch, the daggers come out, we stun, boom, beautiful, and one more time here, and boom, slash the way into nothing, one more auto, and make sure on this phase to spam your basic attacks to build up your mana like that. And also, I use Malin, watch very carefully. Even though you didn't see her, I used her during the cutscene just because in the following battle, this one here, I do not have enough time to use her. So do take note, you want to use her before you spawn in if you're copying my build. But next up, you do want to use your shadows to get your shadows up ready. And as your shadows up comes up, you can basic attack once or twice. I don't in this run, but I do recommend it to give you even more mana, which is ideal for the Obsidian set. If you fall under 40%, your run is ruined, so please note, basic attack when you can to build up your mana. But the shadow sub comes in, watch very carefully. Now we basic attack, and we wait for our QT, watch this. The QT comes up right over here, boom. Now we use Kim, and we get ready for Min and our armor break skill. We use them at the same time, watch. They both come out at the same time, and the second the target breaks, we want to use our QT. Watch very carefully, and boom. We use our QT right here. Get the animation effect in. It basically goes in with the break animation and done. Now watch, watch, watch. This is where our damage comes in. We are going to get ready to use our longsword. So much damage coming in. The AoE effect is what we need. That's why we use it first. And now we use Shadow Step again. You can skip the Shadow Step. I just do it for flare points, and it does make the run just a tiny smidge easier, but it's up to you. You do not have to use Shadow Step twice. It is more of an advanced move, but watch very carefully. Now we use our Vertical Arts, giving us major damage, 61% watch, all the way down to 44%, actually not too much, because we did not crit. Kind of flame, if we crit, this run would have been so much faster. Watch this. We're going to continue here. We use DKDs, giving us major damage as well. This time we crit, thankfully. And DKD again, watch this, and boom. Now I have only one choice, and that's use our ultimate. As he's getting up, I'm going to be cooked. He is going to go in that animation, which kind of stops our damage. So our ultimate comes in at the 12-ish% mark, and watch, boom. The ultimate comes in, and you better believe the shaman dies. So that was essentially the run. Let me show you one alternative, just because I do want you to, I guess, have different methods to use in this run itself. So let me show you that. But as you can see, new record hit, 48 seconds, not too bad at all. And I do want to very quickly show you another skill you can use when it comes to Vertical Arts. This one does give you a faster phase 1 time watch, but it does give us less damage when it comes to the boss, so a caveat there. But you can see there, we had a 6-second time on phase 1, and this phase here, watch with the longsword and DKDs, yeah, pretty darn fast, 16 seconds, so that's an option. And there's one more thing I want to show you here. This is using the Grimoire. Honestly speaking, the Grimoire is not bad. Watch very carefully. Same skill. We use that Vertical Arts Wind skill, and we use the Grimoire to a very similar degree when it comes to a longsword. It is just the boss battle differ. So you do have other options here, and boom, done. In record time, 14.9 seconds. The best time possible, honestly speaking. So you do have multiple options when it comes to each and every skill. You can get a time around the 40, I would say 8 second mark with this build, but it is very hard without the water Vertical Arts. So that's why I prefer it. It's just a bit easier to use in my eyes, but that is another option out there. And here we have the last one, just for reference when it comes to the wind vertical arts. Watch very carefully. We dash, dash, dash. You should use melee in the beginning, but watch this, we use it and boom, all the mobs are gone. Then the boss spawns here. Same thing for longsword, we use it. Then we use DKD. Then we basically pop the boss in 1 slash and done. So you do have that option. This phase is faster, which can help you out if you have troubles with the shaman, which does take longer. If you cannot one-shot it, I recommend just using this method, just because you can save a few seconds in the first phase, giving you, I guess, a better time in the long run itself. So up to you again. And here we have the battle itself, using a longsword, using DKDs, and here we have the invincibility phase. I hate it. Ruins the run. We would have had such a good time if that didn't happen, but as we continue here, 33%, we use our vacuum wave skills, we shadow step, and we're good to go here. Use your support skills, and done with DKD. Yeah, there we go. So that was a run. You can do way faster than I did here. This is just an example, just to show you how it works. But yeah, that was it for today's video. Make sure you drop your like, subscribe, and make sure you support us for a bunch of free codes. That way, you can get a time like the one you see here. But on that note, this is your Code King Zaf, signing out.